afternoon, everyone. We're back in a very calming location. We are here for another Revolution Round Town, and we are with Kacey Bordas.
Hello.
And she is the owner of Holistic Family Wellness right here in Carolina Forest, and her services, really range the gamut of anything that you need to help your internal being to be the best external being you can be, I guess is the best way to say that. But I've been friends with Kacey for a while, and she has helped our family out tremendously and a lot of our friends, and I'm just excited to get the moment to share what she does with all of you. So welcome, Kacey.
Thank you, Stephanie. I always love talking to you. This is always so much fun.
Well, she's lying. She's very nervous. But we are excited. So, Kacey, I just kind of want you to what we just kind of chatted about a little bit is just let them know a little bit about what Holistic Family Wellness is and why you really felt like it was a need for the families in our area to have this service.
Yeah, absolutely. So it really just started, it started almost 30 years ago, but it started so long ago with me just wanting to provide more natural, holistic options for my family and for other people's families, and it just really evolved from there. So I took it many, many, many steps beyond just doing things more naturally. I wanted to really understand, how does the body work, and why are we experiencing some of these symptoms? What's really going on in our environment that can be triggering a lot of the things that I'm seeing in a lot of these complex cases. So I just wanted to provide education for our community, and really we're just seeing kids that are so sick. They have so many different issues, so many problems. And it's just that breaks my heart, because I want kids to experience life to the fullest. I want them to grow up and be happy and healthy adults, and it's really just hard to see these families struggling, because I am a mom and I see, I love my child more than anything, and these parents come in here and they don't understand what's happening with their kids. They're really just suffering, and so I wanted to be able to provide insight and guidance so that they don't waste their time, they don't waste their money, they don't waste their resources, so that they can get the answers that they actually need.
Yeah, no, I totally believe that. And there's you rely on the doctors in your lives to help you give you guidance. And then, but you feel like sometimes there's just something missing, or maybe there's something this medication isn't helping. And I've known that in my own life. I had back issues, and I had a lot of doctors tell me, take this medication or take that medication, and that created other issues like ulcers and that kind of stuff, where finally one doctor was like, maybe just physical therapy is going to be better for you, or use this oil in this place. And being able to combine the medical aspect and that side, but also with a holistic approach, really helped me. And I feel like a lot of times people feel like they're either one way or the other, but having it all work in unison is the best way to do it.
Absolutely.
So what's great is that you can, especially with kids in our area, and Kacey does a lot of work with both adults and kids, is that it's hard to really, for kids to pinpoint. My daughter will say, my neck hurts. Well, I know now that means her throat hurts. It's not actually her neck. And so really getting them to even pinpoint what the problem is. So being able to come to someone like you to kind of get some extra answers is so helpful.
It's really interesting you said that too. So I work with a lot of children that are nonverbal. They can't articulate what they're feeling, even if it's not a correct identification of the way they're feeling. They're not able to even verbalize that to their families. So their families are just sitting there scratching their heads trying to figure out, why is my child presenting with this type of behavior? And it's usually because there's something wrong, and they're trying to tell you, I have some pain in my gut, or my head just doesn't feel right, or I'm just really, really scared and have anxiety right now. And so you did bring up a really wonderful point about doctors. I work with and partner with some really amazing medical practitioners in the area to just provide complete care, because we can't do it on our own. We always need each other to partner and to see things from a different perspective. And so just because, they do practice allopathically doesn't mean that is not incredibly useful and necessary a lot of the time. So it's wonderful to be able to have those relationships, to be able to kind of bounce things off of it and partner and just kind of offer that whole comprehensive approach.
Right, exactly. And so we've chatted, a lot of people are on a health journey. We're at the beginning of the year. That's what happens, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, a lot of people are just trying to better themselves in any way that they can. And they might be hitting a moment here, February 2nd, holy moly, that they are either plateauing, or they're just feeling like what they're doing isn't working to the fullest. And if that's something that they feel, they can definitely come in and talk to you. So talk a little bit about what it looks like if, someone or is just even thinking like, well, what could Kacey do to help me? Like, how can she, or what does she do to look at, you know, my insides to help me, you know, make sure that my outside is as best as possible?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really great question. Do you need to fix that?
Oh no. Low battery. It's always fun when we're live.
Okay, so to answer your question, what I would have someone do is contact our office or go onto my Facebook business page, Holistic Family Wellness. And there's actually, if you click on Messenger, there's a link that you're going to receive that takes you to a form, a discovery questionnaire. That helps me to get a lot of information about what you're going through, specifically what your goals are. You know, is this something that's really important for you right now or maybe a little bit later? It helps us to identify, you know, where you've been, what you've tried, what hasn't worked, why hasn't it worked, so that I can get more information to determine what service is actually going to benefit you. Maybe it's more comprehensive testing, maybe it's nutrition, maybe it's supplement therapy, maybe it's detoxification. We really don't know until I find out specifically what your goals are and where you've already been.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you touched on detoxification.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's a few things that you do now,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's some few things coming in the future. Yeah. So you do, I saw a friend of mine on Facebook look, and she did the foot bath that you have.
Mm-hmm.
That looks so cool.
It is really cool. It's actually, and so it is one of my favorite tools to use, especially for children, especially for those that may be very sensitive to supplements and maybe their immune system's run down and their bodies just has lots of toxicity. Maybe they're living in mold, they have a lot of heavy metals. And the thing is that I really just find so interesting is that a lot of people think that it's everything you're seeing in the water, and that's actually not what's happening. This is an electrical charge going through the body, and it's stimulating the release of waste, and that's actually occurring in the urine, in the stool, and we get the most benefit from the third session. We see generally the most, and if you wanted to be really technical and do, you know, hair tissue mineral analysis or a provoked urine challenge before and after, then you could see some changes in the toxicity and the levels there too. But it's really gentle, it's very safe, very effective, and so that's why
I imagine you'd be able to feel better.
And a lot of people
Regardless.
do feel
Yes.
more energized
Mm-hmm.
after. They feel a little bit lighter, and that is our goal. Now, some people have had maybe a headache after, but I know that they probably were not hydrated, as they shared with me.
Yeah.
And so we always just have to take those precautions. And everyone is different. That's the beauty of bio-individualities.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's different, so that's why we're very thorough in our intake process to make sure, hey, this is the best service and best maybe detox service for you.
Well, I know that. I mean, if you're not fully hydrated and you get a massage,
Yeah.
or you go see your chiropractor, or you just, you know, start a new, you know, regimen,
Mm-hmm.
headaches can come with that because it's just your body trying to figure out what's going on.
Absolutely. Sometimes it is a symptom of a rapid detoxification. So maybe that person was just not quite ready for what, you know, that's why we always have to make sure, is this person ready? Have they, you know, are they remineralized? Do they have their electrolytes on board? Are they pooping every day?
All the things that you want to talk about.
All those really wonderful things.
Well, and Kacey has so much knowledge, and you can see that she has supplements here, and we were talking a little bit about that, and you know how they can, you know, help you. But when I go to the store and I go down the supplement aisle, I get very overwhelmed, and I feel like it's because I don't have the knowledge to know exactly what my family needs. There's been times when Kacey's like, you need to take this, this, and this, and I ask her, I'm like, can you just bring it to me? And I will bet, and I do, or just leave it at the counter and I'll come pick it up.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're just like, wait, I don't know, like, what is that supplement, and really how many. I mean, the bottles aren't clear a lot of times on what dosage levels, because it is different with everybody.
It is different with everyone, and the products are very different, and there are a lot of different types of synthetics and fillers. And even if you get a high quality supplement that you think is reputable, even different customer brands, they have different levels of quality. So you really, this is just ongoing research, and that's part of, you know, part of my practice is understanding and keeping up with the knowledge and really understanding like what's been effective, what, you know, what passes quality control, and just kind of understanding the effectiveness, and that just comes with lots of use.
Yeah.
So that's why it's always very important to choose your supplements wisely. Otherwise, you could be creating more stress for your body to deal with, which is not what we need, especially right now.
When you don't want to scare everybody, but not all this is regulated.
It's not. It's not.
So to have somebody like yourself on your side to be able to share that knowledge of like, I know I have done the research, this is a good brand, that's not a good brand. I mean, people throw around probiotics all the time, like, oh, just take a probiotic. But I mean, I never realized that what you buy in the store, like it's, you know, one of like the local pharmacies and like that, is not going to have enough to even like affect it, but then it has a whole bunch of other stuff that you don't need, or could harm you in other ways. So
it can.
You need Kasey.
Even probiotics are not benign like we once thought. So a lot of times people think they're having digestive symptoms, so they should just use probiotics. I actually have a client who went to 2 or 3 different GI doctors over this last week, and that's all the advice that they gave her. But knowing her symptoms, I know that there's something else going on, and just adding a probiotic at this juncture could actually create more gas, more pain, more inflammation. So it's just very individualized. Not to scare you, there are things that you can definitely generally take. Some of the immune support that we do, I mean, that's kind of across the board right now.
I mean, everyone right now is trying to boost their immune system. But, sometimes, like we were saying before, somebody might have, like, you don't realize that your immune system is already up. And adding extra, might not be great for it.
It's actually something I experienced back in March when we didn't know anything about COVID, and we were just starting to learn. And some of the practitioners that I've been, working with out in California, I've been seeing these patients in their office, and it was kind of scary to hear their experiences. We didn't really have any information about it. So of course we were ramping up our, immune systems, doing different types of therapies and supplements. And I have autoimmune issues, so I ended up, in a flare. So that's actually something you want to be cautious of as well, too.
For sure. So you work with someone that knows what they're doing.
Yes.
Lucky for us, Kasey knows what she's doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's so great just to kind of know that you're right here. She's right here in a brand new office on the backside of Carolina Forest in the kind of behind Food Lion area.
On Wellness Drive.
On Wellness Drive. Where else could she possibly be?
This was meant to be.
It is. And she's expanding in here, which we were just talking about. So she's adding a new wellness room, which we're quite excited about. Healing room.
Yeah, a new healing room. So we'll be providing a few different types of modalities and services. So all your detox will be covered here. Just a couple weeks, and I'll be happy to invite you back so you can take a look at it. It's being renovated right now.
Yeah, which is so exciting, and it's definitely needed. The other, practitioners that are in the office here, are definitely going to be able to utilize your help with their patients.
We work as a team here in this office, so I'm so happy to be here. I work with Dr. Rogers, so from New Life Chiropractic. He's amazing and wonderful. And then we also have a lady who does colonics here in the office as well too. So we are really just trying to embrace holism. So the whole person, mind, body, soul, everything. We just want to provide that type of healing for our community.
Well, I love that.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So adults, kids, everybody, this is, kind of another step that you need to definitely be taking in your health journey for sure.
Absolutely.
So I will link to it, but Kasey, let them know, is their phone number, obviously you said earlier, to go back to your Facebook page and utilize the form that's on there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can do that. You can visit my website at holisticfamilywellness.net, and you can call 843-957-7067. And Lisa is my practice manager. She'll be happy to set you up with that discovery session so we can figure out exactly what it is that you need, what your goals are, and how we can help you to reach them.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us and really kind of explain a lot of the things that you have to do here. But, at the very least, if you don't know what's going on and you feel like you're just not getting the answers you want, come here and see Kasey, because she will dive deeper and really, she's the most compassionate person I think I know.
Thank you.
And she will look at the whole picture for you and not just try to slap a label on it and give you some medication.
Even something more important I want to say is that there is a lot of noise, and there's a lot of noise coming from your body, but it's so chronic that it's, it gets drowned out, and we get used to hearing it, so we don't actually listen to it. If you could just stop and listen to the noise for a little while, it's probably trying to tell you something before it ends up at that point where you're needing those answers. So listen to that noise, then we can find out exactly what's going wrong, what's not balanced, what needs to be corrected before you end up at some diagnosis, before it ends up too big, or
everyone is so busy, and they're, constantly running, and it's like, if you constantly have a small headache, or you constantly have, an issue with your bowels, or, like she says, you should be pooping every day, and if you're not, there may be some issues there, and just all of that stuff where you just kind of push yourself in. And I know as moms, we push ourselves to the back burner.
We do.
Before I started seeing a chiropractor, and I went in, and he was a good friend of mine, and he was like, how long have you been in pain? And I'm like, 6 years. And he's like, excuse me? But that's what you do. Like, as a mom, you take care of your family, you take care of that, you figure, I'll figure out that later. I'll figure out me later. I have time for later. But
sometimes there's not a later. That later ends up being a very scary diagnosis, and we don't want that. We don't want that. If we could prevent it and hear that noise before and listen to our bodies, we could correct it before we end up with something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So this is where we need to be.
Yes, absolutely.
There should be a line out the door.
Be proactive. Be very
Because
proactive.
You should be proactive.
Yes.
And you know, she's one of my best friends, and I'll tell you, I am not as proactive as I should. So we're gonna get off of this, and she's gonna yell at me. But
It's okay. We
all are there.
We're all in where we are.
Yeah.
We all can do better.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, 100%.
Yes, myself included.
We all know that, and we all know that, you know, like adding a little bit of something extra to your routine is not going to make or break your morning, not going to make it, you know, so hard for you to do something like that, and it can be really helping you out.
It's not. It's about adding sustainable changes so that they can become part of your daily routine and they're not such a headache or such a hassle, because the last thing we need is to add more stress to our lives. So we really just want to keep it simple and achieve small goals to work towards our larger goals.
Yep. So well said. Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to sign off from that because I don't think I could say anything better than that. Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, but I would love to invite you back in a few weeks so you can see our healing room.
We will definitely
You guys
do
are
that,
invited
and I
back
hope
too.
you guys all, you all tune in, and make sure you guys can contact Kasey because she can definitely help you just figure out everything that you need to figure out and just make sure that you are whole.
Yeah, there's always hope, so just keep that in mind. There's always hope for healing. You can always improve your health, no matter where you are, how old you are, what's going on.
Yeah, that is definitely so true.
Yes.
All right, well, we'll thank Kacey Bordas for helping us today and
Thank you,
letting us
Stephanie.
learn a little bit more.
This was fun.
And we are here, just as long as you all know, again, it's the Holistic Family Wellness Center, and we will link to her Facebook page here and add a little bit of copy so that you guys all know exactly what we were talking about. But from then, we'll just see you with another Round Town Revolution. Have a great day.
Bye.